Imagine your mind is a movie theater and the reel is stuck on a scene that you dislike. What if, in the blink of an eye, you could rip that scene off the screen and replace it with something better? It's all about unlocking the power of patterns. And here's the big question: what if I told you every thought, emotion, and action is really just a pattern, and you can indeed change it? Your brain operates on patterns, neural pathways, habit loops, and of course, emotional signatures. So the key is, are these patterns serving you or actually holding you back? We have thought patterns, behavioral patterns, habit loops, emotional patterns, and human beings are patternistic in nature. It doesn't deny the fact that we feel and have emotions. We are emotional, but everything connects to patterns. Repeated thought forms turn into beliefs. Your brain wires those shortcuts and it makes habits automatically. When you say something like, I can't do it. I can't isn't truth. It's a learned habit. It is a language pattern. Behavioral patterns. Habits follow the cue, routine, and reward loop. For example, you reach for your phone as soon as you wake up. That's an autopilot pattern. The emotional patterns, we feel the chemicals that are triggered by our thought patterns, right? Anger activates our amygdala, flushes our body maybe in the face with some more blood, making us red. Joy lights up the reward center. Well, in NLP, it's all about the swish. The swish pattern is your mental editor. It's the ability to reprogram your automatic responses by linking the old unhelpful responses to a new positive response. Now, why does it work? Repetition rewires the brain and it disrupts old neural pathways and creates new ones. Over time, your brain learns that and it becomes the new default. That's the beauty of it. See, some people live by default, meaning they fall into their old patterns. When I say default, we could say it's their old patterns that they fall in, and it becomes a default repetitive pattern that just keeps going over and over and over again. But like learning an instrument or a martial arts or ballet, it's about practice. And every time you use the swish technique or the swish pattern, which we're going to be learning today, it's going to strengthen that new mental reflex. So this pattern, this swish pattern, swish technique, it's for shifting states. There's different states. We have the visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and we're using it today to quickly shift in those moments that are on the fly. Now, if it's not on the fly in your daily job or your daily routine at school, it could also be used in the privacy of your home, in the privacy of your own mind. When you're all quiet and alone, you could practice the swish technique in order to make it really strong. Now, can it be used anywhere on the fly? Yes. It can be used on your own pace and in those quiet moments. You could strengthen the tool and use it more often. The very first one we're going to go through is the images or movies of the mind. So sometimes we might see pictures of ourselves or a movie in our mind. We're going to use frustration as an example, the mental picture of frustration or a mental movie of frustration. So we want to reach a more anchored and calm, empowering state, and we have to dive right in. So you got to picture this image that you have, this mental movie that keeps replaying, the one that drags you down, the one that feeds your doubts, the one that keeps you stuck. And what if you could take control of that little movie reel or image and completely rewrite it? Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we want to do is literally identify the negative mental image or movie. Bring the picture or the movie into focus. Notice the colors, notice the brightness, notice the clarity. Pay attention to how close it feels. Like it's right in your face, it's looming over you, and how it affects your emotions. The next thing what I want you to do is I want you to distort that image and distance it, make it smaller, almost like if you were scaling an image in Photoshop. Make it smaller. Imagine that image or movie shrinking, moving farther away. You can make it black and white, farther and farther away, until it feels like a tiny screen in the distance. We make the colors fade, the edges would blur maybe. We can make the movement slow down or reverse until it's barely recognizable. If it's a movie, imagine hitting pause or watching it go in reverse, double speed, scrambling it into absurdity. Now, what we do is you could say a keyword, and the keyword's not necessary, but it's fun. You could say the keyword swish. It's an activation word. And what it's going to do is replace this image of frustration with a new empowering image. And the old image is going to fade. It's going to move completely out of view and bring the new one into focus. So now we can see ourselves calm, confident, excited, and in control. And the new image needs to be bold, vivid, and nice and bright and glowing and full of energy. And here's what it would look like. There it is. That's the swish right there. Now, from here, now that we have this new positive, new mental picture, new mental movie, the better image or movie in the mind, we have it. We can make it bigger, stronger, more potent, more colorful, more of an empowering image. This is the new empowering image. The old one is faded, it's gone, it's out of focus. This one is larger, closer, and it's widescreen. Now we can anchor the positive state with a physical gesture. Yoga inspired what we call the mudra. The mudra is a hand gesture where they touch the thumb and the index finger together. They call that chin mudra. It's a symbol of inner clarity and balance. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to hold your thumb and index finger together. And we're going to repeat a phrase that aligns with this new image. I am strong. I am focused. I am calm. I am capable. And I am excited. You can repeat that a few times, bringing up all those feelings. If you have any memories of confidence, or if you have any memories of good experiences in your life, you can pull that memory up, that emotion up. You can pull that up. When you have this thumb and index finger together, you can pull those emotions up. You can record that feeling of empowerment into your thumb and index finger. So you take a moment just to fully embody this positive state. You breathe deep, you say the words, and you feel the confidence rising. Now, if you wish to test this, you could always go back into the negative state again and then quickly swish into the positive one again. And the whole point to test it is we break that state, we take a deep breath, we shift focus, and of course we move into the new positive image. So we're going from that original negative image again to the positive. And remember, the negative image will be distant, small, muted, irrelevant, and you squeeze that thumb and index finger together while concentrating on the new empowering image and repeat the phrases. I am confident, I am strong, I am capable. And you can feel that positive state return instantly. So you don't have to do testing, but if you want to test it, you can. That's okay. Feel free. Let's go to auditory. With the auditory, you identify the negative voice. There could be a negative self-talk in your brain. You bring up the negative self-talk. You might say things like, you can't do this, you'll fail, you're never good enough, you're not good enough. You got to notice the tone. First, identify the tone. Identify the tone. Identify the volume. We got to shift that serious, harsh voice into a very quiet, squeaky voice. We hear it saying the same words, but maybe it's more ridiculous. Squeaky, further away, maybe in the distance, maybe even an echo far away. And you can make it quieter and quieter. Or you could give it a cartoon voice. You want to make it funny or humorous. You can amplify that cartoon. We can make it small, silly, higher pitched, like helium, maybe even faster paced, like it's coming out of a tiny speaker. And at this point, we're going to do a out loud reframe. When you say things out loud, it's powerful. You could say it out loud in a strong, calm voice that's going to be empowering you. You could say, I'm learning, I'm capable, and I've got this. And you got to feel that new voice. You got to feel it. Get full of the feeling. Maybe bring up some confident memories to help you along the way. But when you hear that negative voice, we're going to swish to the positive reframe. You go from the you can't do this, you'll fail, you're not good enough. And we move over to the words of I'm learning, I'm capable, and I've got this. And you're going to put your thumb and index finger again together. And you're going to repeat that. I'm learning, I'm capable, and I've got this. And you hold that emotional state. Feel the confidence. Touch the fingers and thumb together. The fingers and thumb are powerful. Think of it as it's recording. All right? Think of it as your thumb and index finger is recording that state so you could recall it again later. That's the power of it. The power of holding your fingers in this gesture is to record the state. You could also do this with emotions, which we'll move on to next. You might have emotions in the body, feelings. So we have to face it because those heavy negative emotions, they feel like a storm cloud hanging over your head and it drains your energy, helps you feel stuck. Well, what we want to do is identify the emotion, try to put a label on it, sadness, whatever the case would be, frustration. Close your eyes, bring your awareness to that emotion that's weighing you down. Notice its qualities, notice the heaviness. Maybe notice in parts of your bodies where you might actually feel it. Maybe your stomach, your shoulders. Give it a name. Give it the fear, the doubt, the frustration. Pay attention to just how it affects your energy. All right. And what we're going to do is imagine just quickly moving from that emotion to the new one. We can say the word swish. And by doing so, we swish into the more productive emotion. We can feel those emotions. We can feel new emotions. Confidence, happiness, joy. We are replacing the old one with the new one. The moment we say swish, it's an activation word to move you from one to another. You can get excited as well. So with the negative emotion that's distant and faded, you can make space for a new feeling to rise within you. You can choose those empowering emotions. You can anchor this new positive emotion with a physical gesture, the thumb and the index finger. They use that in yoga as inspiration. That's the whole point of it. I am calm, I am strong, I am at ease, I am feeling a new emotion. You're embodying and recording the new positive state into your fingers. So take a moment and just fully immerse yourself in that feeling. Imagine just saving that emotional state in your mind. Think of the thumb and the index finger as like a bookmark to your favorite page in a book. It allows you to recall that emotion whenever you need it. And the more you do this, the more stronger that recording becomes. That's what it's all about. You can squeeze your thumb and index finger together, repeat your empowering phrase, and feel the calm, confident state return. You could always go back to the old state and practice it again over and over again. Because remember, we are patterns. So you're just going back to the old one and then going back to the new one again. And you practice that. You practice the shifting. Let's talk about how we could use your body. Completely different. Because you could use all these techniques together. You could use the visual, auditory, the feelings, and of course, using the body, the kinesthetic. So for example, we stand in certain postures during the day. Might be on the phone, might be looking at our phone. And here's the thing. We might be in a negative emotional slump. We could maybe feel like hunched over, But who would have thought that you can change the way you use your body? You could change the way you use your physiology. So you can identify whatever negative body posture that you're in. If you're feeling negative, chances are your body is going to follow with that. So you're going to take notice of your body, the posture that it's in. Take notice to the posture that you're in, any sadness, frustration, any doubt. Just pay attention to that body language. Are your shoulders slouched a bit? Is your chest caved in? Are you breathing shallow? Make sure you're breathing full lung capacity. So we want to say the word swish. And when we do, we're going to physically clap our hands together. Clap your hands and say the word, yes, I got this, or I got this. And clap your hands. Feel that new state. Feel that new powerful state. Now, with that positive emotion empowered in that clap, you bring your hands together. It's a celebratory clap. You're celebrating. Just imagine this as like a reset button, and it's locking you into that new empowered state. As you clap, I am powerful. I am steady. I've got this. I am in control. And let the sound and the action of that clap anchor the body in your mind as well. It's anchored in the body, it's anchored in the mind. You're embodying and recording the positive state. Right? And that's the thing. You could do the thumb and index finger really quick to kind of record that moment. So just take a moment. Just notice how you fully embrace that state. Stand confidently. Stand how a confident person would be. Put your hands, arms akimbo, your hands on your hips. Breathe deeply. Feel that energy shift in your body. You can remember when you clap and then you say something that's empowering, that does a very dynamic shift. The word swish acts as an activation to move us quickly from one to the other. I like to use that as an activation word. When you practice these over and over again, you're learning to shift these patterns. This is not about emotional bypassing. This is not about processing your trauma in a session. Those are completely different pathways. Today's video is literally dedicated to the people who want to shift quickly. That you don't want to stay there too long. You have that power. You know that you're capable of shifting, so you do it. That's what it's all about. For those people that are maybe stuck in those traumatic experiences or mental movies that are traumatic or full of trauma, it's important to maybe work with somebody that is a professional, healthcare professional, or a mental health professional. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.